Hey everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about 6 steps to make your move to Louisville, Kentucky easier. When I moved here to Louisville in '96, obviously the internet was just budding, right? So there wasn't any of the technology that we have today, none of it. So my company, I was pretty low on the totem pole, and but they needed some boots on the ground here, so they paid for my job transfer, but it was up to me to find a place to live. I was younger, and I didn't really know where to go, what to do, had no real budget. So I'm looking for an apartment. They flew me and my dad here for a weekend. We looked around, looked at a bunch of apartments, and then went back home and had to remember which apartments we liked, try to apply. Turns out I applied for one, didn't get it. It was already taken. So then I'm having to think about what is the next apartment that I kind of liked. And I really couldn't remember because I'm already back. There's no pictures at the time. There's just so limited resources. It's funny because my dad thought that the one lady at one of the places was really attractive. So he made a comment. He's like, well, what about that blonde lady at such and such? So I applied there, got in, and then literally my company had a van line pick up my stuff and drop it in my apartment. And that was kind of it. It was very, I won't say disorganized, but it wasn't like there I could make a lot of informed decisions. So the technology we have today can help you make a decision. Now, if you're moving with kids, your family, your spouse, that's a different animal than what I had, right? I didn't have any. I left my dog with my dad, and just moved here. So he said the dog won't like the city, but I think because he fell in love with her. But having nothing really to tie me, I was able to make do with whatever. But if you have kids and a whole family to worry about, that changes it. So I want to just talk about what some things that we can do to make that transition easier. So my number one is to call me. That's 502-664-9971. Okay, and let's talk. Let's figure out, what is your budget? What do you like? What is your lifestyle? Do you have kids, or not? If you have kids, it's going to decide, where you want to live based on what schools you're going to put them in. So all those things matter. So we need to talk and find out, what are your wants, what are your needs, and what is your budget? And then that's what I'm going to do the work. Meanwhile, you're going to do step two, which is you're going to worry about work and then the kids' schools if you have those. Okay. So if you're getting job transferred, obviously you kind of know what's going to happen with work. And that's something that you guys can all figure out. But the schools part, you'll want to research, are you going to put them in private school? Are you going to put in public school? What are their ages? Is it a daycare? All that stuff would be really in step two. And that is you. Behind the scenes, I'm finding you some houses. Now, I know you're going to go online and be looking, and that's fine. But we do have to move fast, even though the market has softened slightly. Stuff is not staying on the market. I think the average days on the market is 21 right now. So still not staying a very long time when you're considering moving across country. Okay. So moving into number three then is that you're gonna do some tours via technology. And if that is you going on to the realtor.com or Zillow or whatever your method is and touring, if it's me sending you stuff like, hey, check this one out every day, if it's me physically going to the house so that I can do a tour and walk you through, like I'll have you on Zoom with me and or FaceTime, whatever works for you, and we'll walk through the house, and maybe you can be talking like, hey, well, how big is the master bedroom? And if the measurements aren't on the MLS, I will measure them right then and there. I'll have a tape measure with me, so we can figure out, you can have a really good feel of this house before you ever were to buy it and move in it. Okay. So we would do a lot of that research, and we would do it via technology because it's just so much cheaper. So then once we might have narrowed it down to a few houses, we're going to need to then get you in towns and schedule those. We're going to have to, be down and dirty, as I call it. We're going to be like, okay, these are the houses that we've selected. Maybe it's four. and I'm gonna have those appointments scheduled, and we're gonna get in them. We're gonna make some decisions, and I'm not saying it has to be in a hurry, because let's just say you don't find what you want, then you rent for 6 months or a year until you find it. But you know it's all, the prices are really only going to go up. So I mean, I believe in buying and then waiting. So then you're going to schedule a visit. You'll come into town and we will tour it. I'll show you all the good restaurants, because I love to eat out, and we know all the good ones. And then number 5 is, then we're going to schedule your move. Now, I don't know if your company does a relocation package. If that's the route you're going, you're coming with your company. But I do also own a moving company, and it's right here. Let's see, above me on this side, on this side, and so we could work with your company, or if there's not a reload company involved, then you and I can work those details out, because where I do shine in the interstate stuff is getting you there when you need it. So we would come grab your stuff, bring it here, and have it available when you're able to move in. And then basically we're going to close and move in. That's the 6th step. Is so we're going to have that closing scheduled. We might even be able to do some of the preliminary work ahead of time, have a dry closing. It's not always preferred. Louisville's a little slow to adopt that procedure, but we could, if that was a barrier to you, and just really make it all happen. It can happen as easy as you want it to, but it takes a little planning. Mine was super simple, but I didn't have any kids to worry about, didn't have a spouse to worry about, didn't even have a dog to worry about. So it was, I could have slept in my car if I had to, right? But when you have kids, you do want to do some planning and figure out what part of town you want to live in, what's your price point, excuse me, what are some of the sorry about that. One of some of the things you just can't live without, if you're an urbanite, if you want to be out in the country, if you have horses, if maybe you're moving here because of horses, that's your life, is horses, racing horses, breeding horses. There's a whole world of that here. So hopefully I've given you something to think about, when you are moving here, and taking the scariness out of moving here. That is one thing. Moving is the 3rd most stressful life event behind death and divorce. So I'm dealing with you in that moment. And then of course buying a house, and then relocating, a distance. So those are all stressors. And I'm really good at making those things less stressful for you, making the transition not seem so difficult, taking that stress off you, being available to you to ask questions via whatever, text, phone, email, say smoke signals if we have to. So just being able to get your questions answered, so that you can sleep at night and not be stressed out about this move, because it really does always work out. There's no sense being stressed about something that is not needed, something outside your span of control. And then just rely on the people that are the professionals, and I can help you in 2 of those arenas, is not only finding your house, but then getting you here into it. So hopefully I've given you some value today. My name is Margaret Weathers. I'm the Coldwell Banker McMahon, and my number is 502-664-9971. Again, 502-664-9971. And you can always email me at margaret@margaretsmoving.com. And until next time, take care of each other. Thanks. Bye-bye.